Okay, so we left off when we actually edited this header here. And I figured out a way to, I'm going to move this out of the way. I figured out a way where I can make this look a little bit better. And I didn't really explain this very well. Mobile logo max height will be, this is the biggest it's going to be on a mobile screen. So, and we could even look at that on the mobile preview. So that's the max height for a mobile screen. And you can edit your site header in the mobile view. Oh, so editing in mobile preview will impact both your mobile and desktop site. So you can always click back on that to go back to desktop. Sorry there. But so I did find out a way if I go to desktop here and then header layout, you can change the configuration of your header a little bit. It gives you a few options. You can center the navigation. You can make it go to the left while the social stuff stays right, which actually I'm kind of liking. I don't know if I like the logo in the middle. That puts it underneath, which I'm not super fond of. I actually think it kind of looks decent like this. So I think I'm going to do that. And that's header layout underneath the desktop view. And it'd be interesting to see, we can change it at the mobile level as well. If we click on the mobile icon, go to header, we can change it at the mobile view. So I don't know. I'm going to try them all, see which one I like. I don't know if I have a favorite really. I mean, they're all the same pretty much, but you can change them individually on the mobile and desktop view. And if I go back here, I can go overlay menu. So we can make it, left aligned, centered, left, right aligned, link spacing. That just makes them kind of the pages a little bit further, a little bit further apart. You can change the colors here. I'm not going to do that, but so you can do it you can change the menu icon a little bit. Oh, you can make it a plus sign too. That's kind of cool. But and then you can do it here too. So, which I already did. And you can change the padding on the logo, which means the space around the logo. So there's, different things that you can do here. You can make these a little bit more spaced out if you want to. So, and that's more specific to, when you're not under the global settings, basically you have to go into each of these separately. And then when you're done, you can just like save it and then push down, and it'll kind of pop you out of that view again. And I can go back to just desktop view. So, so I kind of got on both mobile and my desktop view, I have my header section looking kind of the way I want to. And then let's say I want to, add in my own work here. So if I click on that, actually let's back up. We got to push edit if we want to change things here. So if we look around, you can see there's sections. So this is one section. And it actually looks like it's just one big section with different images that are links, with a little bit of text over the top. If you want to edit the section, I believe you'd come up here. So we have a layout of a grid overlay. So it has 2 columns, but we could make it, 3 columns if we wanted to. Something to experiment with in here. The spacing horizontally. We can make them even. 13 pixels by, maybe we want these a little bit further apart. I think you can hand enter these in as well and push return. Change the aspect ratio, which I'm not quite sure what that's going to do. Oh, okay, so it just changes the kind of the size of the images, and that might depend on what kind of images you're bringing in. Text placement over the top here, you can do left, mobile left, but we'll leave that on center. Text shadow after hover. So that's kind of nice to have the hover on there because it just looks like a plain image. You can see it really well, but then when you hover over it, you get the word. So that's kind of cool. But you have other options as well. You can do before hover, which would make it always there, or after hover. Overlay opacity, you can try changing this. I'm not really quite sure what that's doing, but background, you can add images to your background, colors to your background, video, art, which I'm not sure. This must just be preloaded things. This one actually moves, so that's kind of interesting. So yeah, I guess if we wanted to add a section, we can just add one. You can look up headlines, lists, galleries. If you wanted to add another gallery in, you can bring one in. It's taking a while to load in my computer. But so if you wanted to add in more images, you could quote, text, video, contacts. So, I mean, you can search any kind of section that you might need, like maybe you need to bring in a product or something. You can bring in different layouts that are ready to go. So that's kind of how you would add in an extra section. We can go ahead and edit the footer. Let me move my little screen out of the way. So social links, we can edit those. So we can actually hook these up to the correct links. So this one's going to go to, maybe I don't have this type of dribble. I believe this is dribble, which I don't even know what that is. So maybe I don't want this in here, so I could delete it this way. Maybe I do have maybe I have a Facebook account. So let's see. Add social, and then we can do, I think you can just enter the link in. So let's see here. Facebook. And then I can add in my Facebook link to my, my certain account that I have in here. So maybe I can just go to my home page here. Obviously, if I had like a professional site, that had its own page, it would make sense, but so that'll automatically bring it in. Maybe I don't have this, so I can delete that. And then you can change the design on this. So you can have a border, just kind of experiment with these and see what they do. I kind of like the solid, maybe. Centered is good. You can make them bigger or smaller, depending on what you like. But yeah, that's kind of how you would edit your footer. I would suggest doing that, hooking these up, getting these hooked up. You can change, the background image on this section. Maybe we want to, or maybe you want to just add in a color in the background. So we can, maybe I want to make my footer pink, or one of the colors that's in my color scheme that I chose earlier, basically. And then we can, let's see here, edit this. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. And then you can see the work over here that is over in here. You can change it here. So, so we just go into here and we can edit this by clicking on the little link. Go to the background, and then we can change the background image. So I can upload my own image of my own artwork. So I'll try and find something that I made. about this. Is this what I want? This one will do. So I made this design. It's taken a while to upload. We have it on full bleed. You can also do an inset if you want on the background width. It's taken a while. I'm going to pause it. And one thing about this too is you can move this little dot like either up to move your image up, or you can bring it down to bring it down. So I'm going to actually bring this down just a little bit, not too far though. And one thing I maybe could have done too is I could have edited in Photoshop, maybe. So once I get this looking, you know, the way I'm wanting it to look, I'm having an issue with getting this dot to work very well for me, but I think you get the point that you can change how your image is centered by moving it around. Obviously the image that they had in the template was a lot more formatted to look good. This image doesn't actually look all that great. I don't know if I put in a background color, if that would help. It doesn't seem to be doing much. So, well, maybe it is doing something. A little bit, not much though. And I don't think it looks good. So, anyway, we could actually do an inset, and it might actually look better inset than it does. Anyway, and then we can, you know, actually make this taller or thinner, or you can just use like these preloaded sizes. You know, you can change the width of the content as well. And then the content alignment, which I don't think there's much content in this one. So, and then I just need to move this out of the way here real quick. And I think if this is like duplicating a section, so if you need to make the same section again, you can just quickly push this duplicate button. If I want to move it down, I can. If I want to delete it, I can. You can also move it up, but I'm going to leave it where it's at. If I want to add another section, I can. It looks like there is a spacer here in the middle that is just here, but I might not need that. So I'm going to remove that. And yeah. So if I go into the middle of my section, I can click here and click on this plus button, and we can add, you know, different elements basically. Let me move this. It keeps on getting in the way here. So I can bring in another image, I can bring in text, I can bring a button in, form, you know, different things, maps, audio, social links, quotes, newsletter, spacer, like if you need some space. But I'm actually going to bring in a button. And you can see the button is here. We can change the text on the button. I'm just going to try that. And then you can link it up to, you know, different pages if you need to in your site. You can open it in a new window. You can keep it in the same window, depending. This will open it in a new window. This will keep it in the same window. You can have it linked to an email, a web address, which is a separate site, so it would go to a different site. You could have it open to a file, such as, you know, download this PDF, so you would hook it up to it, or you could have it go to a phone number. So there's a lot you can hook it up to. Typically, it will probably just hook up to another page in your site. Typically, buttons will. And then the design, you can also change the size, the alignment, that kind of. Also, one more thing I wanted to say is when you're in here, make sure you go to the mobile preview on every page. And if you need to edit the mobile preview separately, like maybe I like it better large on this page, and, you know, maybe I want the width to be different, or maybe I want it to be, you know, the button alignment to be a little different on this page. You know, definitely try to customize it to the mobile view as well on every single page that you make.